Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about crypto manipulation. So I believe manipulation of the cryptos is done in a different way than what we're used to. If you were a silver or gold bug, you are aware of the manipulation that goes on in that market. The fact that cryptos made it this far is because I believe the manipulators underestimated the possibility of them. I don't think they gave them enough credit and don't think they thought they would ever last or become this popular. Now they're going to try and make up for lost time. I believe they manipulate cryptos in a different way. Instead of using millions of paper contracts at a time like they do with silver, just throwing millions of contracts onto the market, which suppresses the price every day, or when it looks like it's about to break out. I believe one of the biggest weapons they use is FUD. I mean, it's a cheap and an effective way to they can use at any time with a numerous amount of stories. In a way, we fuel this fire by not being accurate in the reporting of whatever stories that come out. We often react far too quickly without doing research, and that hurts the space in general. We need to be more precise to counteract this FUD, and we have to do it based off of facts. So the fact that they're using sometimes stories that are made up or not completely factual, if we use facts to combat that, it helps the general space. I think we must be far more diligent in our reporting of the facts, so when the FUD shows up, it's a lot easier to cast out the nonsense, which in turn makes cryptos have more credibility. I think a part of the responsibility of the early adopters that we are is helping cryptos move forward in both investing in them and supporting them and making them credible. Cryptos that get the most FUD spread against them are the ones I actually like the most, because I believe those are the ones that the people spreading the FUD are most fearful of. I'm a big Populus and Veritasium fan. They're two of my top tokens. They really receive a large amount of FUD, which I'm not surprised. Look at what business space they're trying to take over. It's the banking sector, and when it's anything to do with banking and something that could possibly invade their territory, of course they're going to spread as much FUD as possible. It only tells me that they're actually doing something and instilling fear in them. We need to continue to talk about the positive things of cryptos to remind us and remind people that how many positive things and why we originally got into them, the positive things that they can do, and that'll counteract all the negative FUD. The positive things that I got into were, a lot more important than any negative FUD that they can put out there. Because the crypto market is in its infancy stage, it makes it very easy to influence. Guys like John McAfee and some of these other more popular people that have been in other industries now moving their way into cryptocurrencies, people that have YouTube channels with a lot of subscribers, large audiences, often make statements about cryptos, and most of the time any of those cryptos they make statements about, they're just pumping and dumping, and we got to get rid of that, because that will not give credibility to cryptos. That takes away from cryptos and makes them look like they're a scam. And we have enough of those scams that have polluted the waters. Look at BitConnect and BitPetite and all these other type of places that were pyramid schemes that took a lot of money from people, scares people off. So we gotta take care of that stuff, and hopefully that stuff just fades away. But whenever there's money to be made, it brings out the good people and the bad. And the bad are going to try and take advantage of all good people. So imagine how easy it would be for the manipulators to affect the space. Many have speculated that the Mt. Gox trustee sell-off affected the market at three different points where it looks like, from a technical analysis perspective, was about to make an upturn, and instead it plummeted. There's certain places to get well thought out information that is not always positive, but is honest and done with integrity. Those are the people we need to look to if you're looking for information. The space is not always going to be positive, but it's not necessarily a negative thing if people are giving you truth. If they're giving you truth and it's bad news, it's not negative. It's better to hear it, see it, and be able to react to it than to ignore it or just constantly pump the space when there's markets are down. And, it's not the end of the world if they go down. They're going to come back up. So let's have a little more honesty when we're talking about them. And there's a couple people that I listen to that I believe do that. Support those people. The more truth tellers and people of integrity speaking out, the more truth and honesty we will have in the space. And that's what I got into cryptos, for truth, honesty, and financial freedom. We gotta be careful because people like Goldman Sachs, which recently just purchased Poloniex Exchange, which is number 15 on CoinMarketCap in 24-hour volume currently. So it's a pretty big exchange. I believe this will be the first of many U.S. exchanges that will be owned by the big banks. This is a great way for them to control a big part of the crypto space. As centralized exchanges, they can treat them like the stock market, which will expedite the little guy. Right now, we can go and buy $1 worth or $100,000 worth of cryptos ourselves. And that would come to an end if we allow these exchanges to be owned by the big banks. They would require us to get licenses, which are very difficult to acquire. So now a third party is in control of your money once again. And that's what we're trying to get away from with cryptos. How's that working out for some banks that will not allow you to use your own money to buy cryptos? I think using decentralized exchanges is the only way to combat this issue. Hopefully in the near future there will be plenty to choose from. That may be the only way the little guy can buy cryptos in the future if you're a U.S. citizen. Regulation is a big part of manipulation. Take Veritasium, for example. Their beta testing got shut down by regulators. The repercussion of this was a 40% loss in the value of Veritasium. We all know in America what regulations has done to the economy. It's strangled it to the point where we're struggling. There's a good chance that this will drive crypto business out of the country into crypto-friendly countries and allow these countries to flourish in a new base economy in cryptos. America is going to miss the boat, and then 10 years from now we're going to be looking back and thinking, what happened? And all these other countries are going to be moving ahead of us on the world economy list. Banks will not give up easily. They will try everything in their power to keep control. There is a huge bottleneck at this point that is stopping money from getting into the space. That's the control of our bank accounts. How many of you have bank accounts that will not allow you to buy cryptos? I know I do. Personally, we need to figure a way around this, and I'm not sure how we do that. But I believe once those floodgates open, it will be a tidal wave of gigantic proportions. Whoever controls the monetary system controls the country, and that control will not change hands without a fight. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of politicians' jobs at stake. There's a lot of government control at stake. So when you're talking about all those things, there's going to be a lot of resistance to any new thing that comes along. Remember, at some point, we didn't have computers, and it took a long time for those to become the norm. At some point, we didn't have the internet, but we're all accustomed to it now. But there was battles over those things. Yeah, and innovation is the way we move forward. And if they allow us to stop this innovation, we're going to take many steps backwards. With that said, remember everything they're throwing at Bitcoin, and it is still up $7,000 since this time last year. They're throwing everything at it, and it's still up $7,000. So keep that in mind when all these negative things are going on. So at this point, I believe this train is too far down the tracks. I don't think they can stop it. I think there's too many well-known companies and countries that are going to start using it. And, whether the U.S. government decides to use their energy to fight it, which I hope they don't, or if they choose to embrace it, which would be great for the U.S. and allow us to move forward and allow us to build a great economy, allow us it to be a part of the economy going forward. It's not just cryptos, but that's part of it. That's the future. I mean, right now at this point, we have some part of the country that are third world countries already. And if we just allow this technology and innovation to go forward without us, it's going to spread. And we're going to end up being a third world country all over the country, not just in certain cities. And this innovation can help those cities, hopefully bring businesses to those cities, but we have to embrace it. And if we do what we normally do in America, and when I say what we do, I'm talking about the government, that'll be to suppress it until they get their cut. And if that's what happens, it'll be too late. So that's pretty much all I got to say for today. But thank you for listening. And I'll be doing some crypto videos in the future, as well as so many others. Thank you.